processes, and integrating sustainable development perspectives into engineering education. His work has helped institutions effectively align academic outcomes with industry and societal needs. Today's session focuses on CPEs and sustainable development goals, NBA guidelines, and industry case studies. Sir, thank you for joining us once again. I invite you to begin today's session.
Good afternoon to all the participants. Last class, we discussed about complex engineering problem, which becomes a part of the MBA major document, where we discussed about the 7 attributes which contribute as a complex engineering problem. Because it is, if you see into the POs, 11 PO, the engineering knowledge, problem analysis, design and development of solution, conduct investigation on complex problem, technological tool usage, and engineer in the world. The first 6 POs will be focusing on complex engineering problem. Remaining 5 POs will facilitate in solving the complex engineering problem. That is ethics, individual and collaborative teamwork, communication, project management and finance, and lifelong learning. So this is the way which we discussed. And when we discussed about the complex engineering problem, we have discussed about the 7 attributes which defines them it's a complex engineering problem or not. The depth of the knowledge is a mandatory one, WP1. WP1 with any one or more than one WPs will contribute to the complex engineering problem. We have seen depth of knowledge required. It is a mandatory. Rest, extent of stakeholders, range of conflicting requirement, depth of analysis required, familiarity issue, extent of applicable code, interdependence. All these criteria we have discussed in the previous class. Today, we are going to discuss about sustainable development goals. How SDGs need to be mapped. SDG mapping, we focus in 2 directions. We focus on 2 aspects. One is in the institutional level. Second, we focus on the curriculum level. In the institutional level, where the criteria number 9, where it focus comes. In the curriculum level, 2 criteria, 2 and 3, where the focus of SDGs will be there. Totally 65 mark will be there, 30 plus 35. So institutional level 35 and curriculum level it is 20 plus 10. That is it. So with this preamble, let us start the presentation. Because morning in strategic planning here we had our class which got over late and they went to lunch and somehow it got delayed. So we can integrate it. So that is the main aspect which we are going to discuss. As usual, content expressed in this lecture are purely my technical perspective. It does not represent the organization with which I am affiliated. So with this preamble note, let us start the today's lecture. So as you all aware, the educational institutions, they are the hub for the transformation of the community or society. And educational institutions predominantly exist in the city. And city in turn becomes a central anchor, especially for the climate change in the current day scenario, which in turn the community need to play an important role for a resilience. That is a major role which we have to play. That is a one important aspect which you should remember. I will hide it. I'll close this one also. Okay. So the government of India wish to integrate, that is environment learning from the nature, where each graduates need to be a participatory in their initiative. In turn, they transform the urban spaces. which in turn strengthen the social cohesion. As you all aware, one of the successful scheme of the government of India for the past several years was community development through polytechnics, because the people in the society need to get empowered in terms of livelihood. What are the skill set we are going to do? Which in turn extended as a Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, where the colleges are making active participation in transforming the community. Both the things have been incorporated into the current NBA criteria. Current NBA criteria, how the outreach activity is there, how you are making participatory. In all those aspects, it has been good. So, as you all aware, we have a wonderful knowledge. Technology, we have aware. The policy is there. Scientific evidence is there. But there exists a huge gap between the policy and the scientific evidence. But due to the development of the technology, digital technology, this gap has been minimized. But why this gap exists? This gap is due to the fragment of knowledge and data. Each knowledge and data is fragmented, and we are not in the position to comprehend it together, which resulted in the uh, uh, this gap. But this is caused by the tools, often exposure, how we are having the methods. Sometimes we may not share the methods, and which in turn translated to the inadequate for aspects, inadequate access to comprehensive knowledge. But the STG introduction, it's a step towards recognizing the institution, not for academic excellence alone. It is for driving the sustainability, making an impact in the social impact, and for the community development. If you ask the colleges to do by themselves, some college might volunteer, some college may not do it. So this aspect, NBA made it a point for the community development. NBA made it a point, sustainable development has to be a main aspect. So why we need a sustainable development goals? What are the goals? How we have to integrate it, and what are the aspects? The first and foremost is the market demand, sir. Whether the market really demands, that's a question which we are going to answer. The employer seeks graduates who understands technology one perspective. There are few employers who prefer to have the concept of sustainability, ethics, and social impact. Demand may not be predominant, but demand exists. There is a paradigm shift in the thought process of the people. Second, accreditation and ranking agency. Accreditation and ranking agency. Just take the plug. Accreditation and ranking agency, they play an important role in this aspect, because if you ask voluntarily to do, no one will be doing. But if the accreditation and ranking agency not enforce it, so make it a condition, the people will try to do it. The third aspect is student exploration. But my camera is there. Yes, camera is there. Okay. Student expectation. Nowadays, the kids are a little bit aware about sustainability. In those aspects, they want to solve the global challenges. So activity is there. The students are relatively active and they are engaged in making this impact a lot. That is also we have observed. Then comes ethical imperative. As educators, we have a moral responsibility to produce the next society or the system in an appropriate manner. So we have to develop a responsible citizenship. And in turn, we have to solve this problem and to create a core of innovation. Core of innovation, that is the main aspect which we have to think about it, which we are doing it. So in this aspect, we have to remember how we have to take into consideration. So market demand, accreditation, student expectation, ethical imperative, and innovation drive. So which are all lead to the ranking in the global ranking and other aspects. So let's quickly look into the 17 goals. Why I'm mentioning the 17 goals? Each college no need to map n number of goals, 4 to 5 program wise, but as an institution, we have to focus on all the goals. That is the concept. But 4 to 5 goals, each department has to map it. How they have to map it? The first goal is no poverty. There is no poverty. The poverty has been this thing. So that is the first goal which we have to focus and which we have to accept it, which you have to focus and which you have to accept it. Then comes zero hunger. Zero hunger. No poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being. Good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation. These are the major goals which you have to remember. Seventh goal is affordable and clean energy. These goals are known as a foundation goals, which is going to play an important role. So no poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water and sanitation, and affordable and clean energy. Affordable and clean energy. Then comes a decent work and economic growth. Decent work and economic growth. Goal number 8. Goal number 9, industry, innovation and infrastructure. Industry, innovation and infrastructure. Goal number 10, reduce inequalities. Goal number 11, sustainable cities and communities. Goal number 12, responsible consumption and production. One of the beautiful goal which everyone need to remember. Your consumption, based on your consumption, you have to produce. Responsibly, we have to consume, and accordingly, we have to produce. Since the resources are there, doesn't mean that we have to consume more. So whatever is needed only we have to consume. Based on whatever we consume only, we have to produce. That is there. Goal number 13, it is climate action, which focus on what are the different aspects, because the climate change, it plays an important role where we have to work on climate action. Goal number 14, life below water, life on land, and peace, justice, and strong institution and partnership for the goal. So the two aspects are these goals, how we have to incorporate in the curriculum. That is one dimension which we are going to discuss. Second, these goals, how we have to include into your strategic planning. Why we have to include in the strategic planning? Because as an educational institution, the strategic planning is a very, very important document where you have to prepare and you have to make your own commitment in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, how you are going to do it. How? For that, first you have to do the baseline, this thing, which you are going to discuss. So these goals, the 17 goals, in general grouped into these categories. First 7 goals are known as a foundation goals, which are basic human needs. It is very, very important. It's around basic human need goals. Then comes the goal which is known as a pillar goals. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That is decent work, economic growth, industry innovation infrastructure, reduce inequality, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production. Then comes 13, 14, 15. That is the roof goals, SDGs, planetary boundaries, climate action, life below water. And above 2 goals are partnership goals or the keystone goals, which is 16 and 17. The first aspect, as I told you, we are going to focus on strategic planning connection. The second aspect, we are going to connect it to the curriculum. With 3 institutions, how they incorporated into the curriculum also, we are going to discuss. So exactly what you mean by sustainable development means the development which meets the needs of the present generation without compromising the ability of the future generation to meet their demands, to meet their needs or demands. So integration, how it works, as I told you, institution level, where you have to map with your vision, mission, strategic goals, key performance indicators, budget and government sectors. Second, curricular and project level. What students study, what project students undertake, and outcomes they are as assessed against. So the SDG integration should not be like a one single green week like yoga week. No, it has to be more effective as a thread that runs from the institution strategic plan through departmental goals into the course learning outcomes. Finally, the student projects. That is what the thread it goes. It is not simply the goals, the project alone. It has to get started with the institution strategic plan. From institution strategic plan through departmental goals into course learning outcomes and finally into specific projects, student projects level. That is it. When you look into the SDGs, which are the POs it will be get connected? As you all aware, there are 11 POs are there. So if you see the 11 POs, look into the 11 PO. The PO number one is engineering knowledge. With engineering knowledge, I need to do the analysis, problem analysis. With the problem analysis, I have to do design and a development of a solutions. When I design development of a solution, sometimes investigation will be conduct investigation on complex problems. Engineering tool usage, engineer and the world, ethics, individual and collaborative teamwork, communication, project management and finance, and lifelong learning. These are the 11 POs which exist. That you have to remember. 11 POs which exist. Out of this 11 PO, if you observe very clearly, very categorically, the three POs are integrated with SDGs. Which are the three POs? If you observe, PO number two, when you do analyze any problem, we have to give a consideration for sustainable development. Identify, formulate, review the literature review, research literature, and analyze complex problem, reaching substantiated conclusion with consideration for sustainable development. So PO2 goes with sustainable development. That is one. Second, PO3, design creative solutions for complex engineering problem. Design, develop system components, and which you have to remember. And ultimately, we have to remember with public health, safety, net zero carbon, culture, society, and environment as required. Environment as required. That is the next goal. That is the third goal. So the PO2, PO3, it is getting connected with sustainable development goal. The next PO, which is connected is not the 4 or 5. It is the goal which gets connected is the PO number 6, where engineer in the world. So analyze, evaluate society, environmental impact on sustainability. Impact on sustainability. Very, very important. So among the 11 POs, the 3 POs categorically get mapped with the sustainability PO2, PO3, and PO6. PO2, PO3, and PO6. That is what very, very important. So if you see this, as I told you, PO2, 3, and 6. If you observe the NBSR, around 65 marks generally it get connected because 2.7 solving complex engineering problem incorporating sustainability goals 20 mark, 2.7 and 3.6 evidence of addressing sustainable development goals 10 mark, 30 marks, and it comes 9.10 e-governance. E-governance they are focusing on initiative sustainable practice in academic and learning environment campus wide how you are going to do. And then comes 9.11 initiatives and implementation of sustainable development goal. Sustainable development goal. Once again from NIT they are calling. I don't know what happened. I left anything there. Once again from NIT office. Sorry. They called us tomorrow at what time I need a car for the airport. Already I've given a note, but from director office they called. Okay, maybe it's good. Yesterday we had a good time with the director, sir. He was very visionary and good yoga, everything. Okay, sorry. Coming back to the main, I was thinking it's showing director office. That is the reason. So 9.7.2 and 9.8.2. The two tables also talks about that is 12 mark and 8 mark, 20 mark it comes. So together 65 mark it comes. If you see 9.10, 12, 13, it all get connected with the institutional level, e-governance, 35 mark. Whereas 30 mark it get connected to the curriculum level. So first and foremost things is you have to connect the STG into your strategic planning. Unless you connect it to your strategic planning, attainment of SDG may not be in a it will not be in a laminar manner, it might be result in a turbulent manner. How we have to integrate it? So, first vision, mission, strategic pillars, objectives, KPI, and action plan. How we have to? Because unless otherwise you change the upper, the faculty member will not work in that direction. This is general observation which we made over the past 15 years. Maybe 10% of the system they will do irrespective of whether you need or not. Whether paper mark is there or not, they will do. Video production is there, they will venture it. But predominant 80% of the team will do when you make it as necessary. Publication every year is necessary. Student guidance is necessary. Seva Bag manner you have to work. It should not be on a rule based. It has to be on role based. So vision, mission, strategic pillars, objectives, KPA and action plan. So STG integration basically works in this direction. Rather than treating it as a side initiative, it has to come into the explicit central stage. How we have to do it? 5-step integration process. The first step is baseline review. Before starting STG integration in the project, first as a institute, where exactly you stand. That is a baseline review. After making a detailed baseline review, because why we have to do baseline review? This only will help us to measure the impact what we create. In the environmental impact assessment baseline survey, we make it very mandatory. Because before starting an industry, what is the exact status of water, air, natural flora, fauna, everything will map it. Reason, after the industry comes, how it happens? Because it is a very big famous case is there. One of the big refinery was there. This refinery was doing very good. All of a sudden, the judicial body, there was a case. This refinery caused pollution to the monument, natural monument. That was the reason they filed a case and refinery was about to close. Then the refinery was arguing. You see, this is our baseline data. Before starting of the industry, this is the baseline data. And this is the EMP which we have planned, environmental management plan we have planned. We never exceeded anything. This blackening of national monument is not due to our effort. They told it is not due to our effort. It is basically due to the other effects which you have to look into it. After the study, they have only observed in and around that monument, there were vehicle movement which resulted in the blackening of the things. This is not due to the industry. Then only the area have been cordoned off and area has been made into think in a different direction. So this is the part 1 condition, sir, which you have to remember. So baseline data, it's very, very important. Suppose if you are claiming to any authorities, accreditation authorities, anyone, I have made my learning, it's very, very good. So like that, if I claim, how it is possible? It's not at all possible. It is not at all possible. It is not at all viable also. Baseline review. Then comes prioritize relevant sustainable development goals. As I told you, all 17 goals, we cannot make it. Only few goals, 4 to 5, which are relevant to the engineering, which are relevant to the management. Those goals only could be mapped. We have to identify. Then embed in the strategic pillars. Embed it in a strategic pillar. How we have to embed? So baseline survey, prioritize relevant SDGs, embed in a strategic pillar. Then comes after embedding your strategic plan pillar, make a cascade effect to department and curriculum. Still, as a institutional, if you're not taking this as a policy, providing to the department and curriculum, it is not going to create an impact. That is, finally, you test, monitor, report, and revise. This is a 5-step integration process. Generally, we adopt it, we recommend it. This only we covered to your faculty members previously. So, world-class institutions nowadays, it is not measured only by the excellence of academic or job. It is also measured based on the societal impact. Societal impact. There is education institution which exists. How much society transformation it created. That matters a lot. Very, very. So the student, next generation of students, they might be very clever. They might see how to solve the global challenges. Their workplace has to play an important role. So funding landscape is also changing. Government and global funded, all the CSR activity money, everything has been put into the this thing. And competitive advantage, it should differentiate from attracting a talent, partnership, and recognition. And moreover, is it our moral responsibility? What we are taken from this society and what we are giving back to the next generation. It is very, very important. It is a contribution which we have to focus on. So the 5 pillars generally we work. If you see my mission document of the mission when I was teaching to them, the 5 pillars which we connect to the mission document. One is academic excellence. In terms of academic excellence, how the strategic planning is going to get connected. Second, in terms of campus operation. Academic excellence, what are the activities I can map it? As a faculty member in academic excellence, what all it comes? We are going to discuss. Second, campus operations. Third, research and innovation. Fourth, community engagement. Fifth, inclusion and access. These 5 pillars are maybe predominantly we use, or you can use the 8 enablers which has been given in the IDP. It depends upon the education institution. We are not finding it fault. Any school of thought you can use it, which this is an old school of thought, but it is a currently this is followed by most of the institutions. So academic excellence. How we are going to redesign your courses to tackle the sustainability problem. Whether green chemistry is there, e-vehicles is there. Because if the students have not been exposed, if they have not been given awareness, conceiving the things will be very, very difficult. So awareness only will lead to the consuming the items. So awareness plays an important role, which is get connected with SDG 4. Number of courses redesigned, student rate, relevance score, everything. Campus operation. Campus operation. 40% of the reduction in the campus carbon footprint 2020. What is your target? How much you reduce it? If during the visit, several colleges will show we have adopted solar, we have adopted electrical sensors, light sensor is there, energy efficient building is there. Each department we have a competition. How we are conscious their energy. What is the energy usage? Energy audit has been conducted. How energy conscious they are there. Percentage of renewable energy usage. Use of tons of CO2 per student per year. And increasingly external funded research addressing on clean water, health, climate, which will increase by 2025 or 25%. How much you are going to give target? And number of funded SCG linked with publications and publication count. So that is the next aspect. So community engagement. The launch annual community-based learning projects, which 3 partner organization. That is very, very important. And eventually, number of active partnerships, student engaged annually, everything. Close the gender gap in the STEM equipment enrollment within 10% point by 2028. percentage of female enrollment in STEM programs year by year. So gender inclusion access, physically challenged, and now we have undergone a training program. A person with learning disabilities, how we have to include them in a mainstream of education. So I have undergone for a program with the ministry. Ministry has taken special learning disabilities, SLD kids, how we have to bring them to a mainstream of education. No, government is thinking. So with this, you have to, so first line is audit existing strategic documents, programs with respect to this thing, baseline. First, with respect to energy, what is your energy consumption through fossil fuels? What is the energy consumption through renewable energy? How much renewable energy you are utilizing in your campus? How much renewable energy you are producing in your campus? With respect to energy, with respect to the green space, what sort of a green space you are having? How much carbon sequestration taking place in your green campus? Third, how is your construction practice? Whether you are using a recycled materials or emission, the emission practice parameters taken into consideration. All those items which you have to decide in the third. The fourth, we have to think about the water. What is the water management strategy at present? We are there. How much water you are procuring? How much water you are recycling? How much water you are recycling from the market? How much water you are recycling it? How much wastewater is there? How much rainwater harvesting has taken place? How you have conducted to the community? What is the water usage pattern? How much the open area, garden area, how the water efficient fixtures have been fixed? That is one aspect. And the paperless, how much paper you are consuming, the quantum of paper usage, how it has changed. So what is a recycling policy? What is a plastic usage policy? Like that, you have to assess the current condition in each criteria. Each goal, identify the current criteria. After identification of the criteria from each goal, then you have to prepare the step two. What is the priorities? I cannot do everything, sir. Next 5 years is there, 6 years is there. Okay, let me concentrate this year on very immediate attention of water, solar, energy, then how it has to be operated. That is the condition. Because unless otherwise you operate, you cannot make it the things into reality. So this is going to be the plays a vital role. This plays a vital role which you have to accept. So what way? The first, you are fixing the baseline review. Second, you are prioritizing the relevant SDGs. 5 to 8 SDGs you are prioritizing. Third, you are putting it in the pillar, strategic pillar, and how much target you are going to keep it. That is the third step. The fourth step, put it to the department. Objectives into department goals, outcomes, project briefs, everything. And fifth, you make it to monitor, report, and review. The students are going to be the end translators. So this is the way 5-step process. Previously, we were working as a silo option, which is not into possible. Now we have to have an integrated aspect, which integrates teaching, research, operations, and exhibit the leadership. Everything it has been made together. That is the aspect which you have to work on it, which we have to work on it. So that is the important aspect. So baseline review. How we are going to do the baseline review? That is a very, very important aspect. How we have to start the baseline review and what are the aspects which you have to do with the baseline review. That is very, very important, sir. So baseline review is first part. So university or council board, what aspect you have to take it? Formal resolution. So establishes task force, empower that faculty members or group with the capacity building, and you tell the ideas. Embed, you have to before leader in the technical education research. This might be your vision, but your vision should explicitly tell. So be the leader in the education research, developing solutions to for a sustainable and equitable world. So like that, you have to rephrase your vision, rephrase your department mission, if it deemed necessary, how we have to incorporate the changes in the vision mission statement. So that you will incorporate it. Where the pillars have to be education for sustainable development, research with global impact, responsible green campus, partnership for the good. So in the teaching learning, make a very clear mandate what all how many courses are there, what percentage exist, how you have to improve upon it. That is a step one. Second, research and innovation. How each research is connected to the sustainability. Establish interdisciplinary research cluster. There might be a water pollution problem. How we have to work. Recently, I went to a college in Ahmedabad, Gujarat, for accreditation visit. There, the rainwater harvesting pond was there. The water was collecting and the water was going inside. But how much water went inside, percolated? They didn't have data. So what they did, they used a sensor with the interdisciplinary project. So how much water they are, Krishna, how much water how much water they were in the position to recharge or make it infiltration, and they did. And with this they made a monitored data that is a dashboard which was keep on telling during the monsoon period how much water was in the position to recharge the groundwater level, and after the rainfall they were in the position to monitor it, the groundwater level. It was fantastically done, and we were amazed by the concept of interdisciplinary aspects, because the rainwater which is coming, which has been given to the this is done at the undergraduate level, no post graduation, no PhD. It was done in undergraduate level. Very very famous college, very very famous government college. They did this work. I was amazed. It was very good, fantastic work. The college extraordinarily they performed. That is the beauty. So we have to think how it has to be get operated, how it has to get operated, what are the ways it has to be done. Water, energy, food nexus. Campus operation. Set measurable target for carbon neutrality, zero waste, sustainable practice. Commit to 100% renewable energy that for campus operation by 2030. Community engagement. Align outreach programs with local SDG targets and prepare the city for smart, sustainable city projects. So, four case studies we will see. After seeing four case studies, we will focus on other aspects. We will focus on other aspect, how we have to operate it, what are the ways and means which you are going to do it. That is the thing which you are going to work on itself. So in Royal Institute case Sweden, what they did in the strategic plan, which is already available in the internet, you can take IIT Madras strategic plan. Some institute strategic plan you can take it. How each enablers they have taken it, how they did. That's a workshop which we conducted here. So how we have to make our strategic planning document and how it has to be operated. So which we have to operate it and how we have to operate it, we have to see. So what SDG as a central framework they have included, because a table, as it shown in two table, the two table. Hello. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Tomorrow afternoon. Okay. Thank you. Sorry, sir. From the guest house. You remember, first the phone call came from the director. Now they are coming from guest house. Same question, same answer. Education. All educational programs must contribute to the SDGs. How it contributes to the SDG, you have to map it. At least each subject one or each semester one outcome directly gets mapped. That way we have to prepare it and integrated into the research funding evaluation. I have seen few colleges, one college in not few, one college in Mysore, they have earmarked certain funding from a CFSR agency which is giving to the sustainable activities of the institution. Very nicely they have earmarked. Previously, sustainable activity, environment activity, and sustainability, only planting of trees was there and keeping a water purification plant was there. Establishing a water purification plant is good, but maintaining a water purification plant is important. You might install, keep a RO plant, but establishing RO plant is not important. How the filters have, how the filters has to be changed, how the filter has to be monitored, that is very, very important. That is a need of the hour. And how you are going to partnership with the public sector companies to drive innovation. So you are committing, that college has committed in their strategic planning. And impact, it's resulted in mapping the company, a college, in the top university in the Times ranking on SDG 9, Industry Innovation Infrastructure. Nowadays, Times Higher Education Ranking, NARF ranking, where exclusive SDG based ranking has been taken place for not for all the goals, one particular goal you can take a target and you can make it. Now, Adi Shankara is there or your campus, whatever the campus you have. This campus will work on a quality education goal number 4, or we work on a goal number 6, clean water and sanitation, or we work on a peace, security, that is it, goal number 16 or goal number 17. Goal number 16, all your anti-ranking, women in this case, everything, you can get a good ranking in those areas also. So second case is Georgia Institute of Technology, which one of my student eventually become this thing, and computer science guy who, when I was faculty at Anna University CEG, he was preparing some software for us. I'm telling you the year way back 2003. So later on he came there and we eventually we became good and now he became faculty also. That is the reason. So where they have observed when I was discussing, because we taken one of the beauty what we observed in strategic development planning, we collected around 25 strategic development documents from various part of our country, from college. Only 25 we collected as a part of our study. The rural colleges, urban cities from the same state. In some state, a tier 2 colleges, tier 1 colleges, that is autonomous affiliated colleges, university. How they structured the because I have observed most of the colleges followed certain template, but they never customized for the region, which we have witnessed. For example, in Maharashtra, rural college and urban colleges of government cities, they have the similar strategic planning document because the Directorate of Technical Education gives, so they are following. But that is not the case. You remember the strategic planning, or it depends upon your USP. What is your USP? Yesterday, the director was mentioning in IT Calicut, USP plays an important role. What is your unique selling? You might offer several branches are good, okay, but this is a uniqueness. It is there in this. This college, this branch is unique. You remember, there are some faculty members who created an impact in certain departments. Because of them itself, the college department were getting a good funding and good projects because of the individual dedication and contribution. So, what is your USP? USP should not lie on the individual. USP should lie on the team. He has to create an ecosystem. This group is famous for this. Now everything what happened, we start to becoming like a one-stop solution. One-stop solution, it's not at all feasible in several things. So focus integration through its serve, learn, sustain initiative, which Georgia Tech is following. How they implemented it. Embedded sustainable community challenges into the engineering and the science course. The students just don't learn thermodynamics, they were trying to connect it with the sustainable energy systems. Goal number 7, clean and affordable energy. And project-based learning. They are connecting each students with the projects. The project in turn serves to solve the problem of the community, of the routine problem, in turn provides a solution. Amazing impact has been witnessed because of these two projects where they were creating a good impact among the stakeholders and the clientele systems. So the project based interdisciplinary apps, they made city planning, engineering with the economics department, policy planning. That was there. In University of Illinois also, sustainable development, one department, policy planning department, it brought. It is an interdisciplinary department. Engineering faculty members were there, especially civil engineering faculty members were there. And you can see the management economics people were there. And one more team, 3 to 4 teams were working together and creating an impact. So that is the beauty of the things which you have to take into consideration. So that is an interdisciplinary. And this impact made a sustainable challenges, strengthened the college, community, and everything it has been made. And fourth step is cascade. Once you have assessed where you are exactly with the baseline, second, you have identified where exactly you have to move. And third, once you started implementing it, you're doing a cascading effect into the nearby things, nearby department or schools or college. With the cascading effect will create an impact, which they will allocate the annual budget to SDGs aligned initiatives, SDG aligned initiatives. They were making it and they were creating an impact. Intensivize, incentivize the participation. So how you have to create a participation, how you have to promotion criteria, everything has been made. So which one way or the way it creates impact. It creates impact which you have to accept it, which you have to accept it. So the first and foremost thing is what we are doing is of a cascading effect, put it to the department, give it to the department. As an institute, it might implement, but as a department who are going to give the number of score which is going to facilitate them, we have to see, we have to look into it. That is a third aspect. That is a fourth aspect. That is a cascading aspect. Cascading aspect. Communicate widely. And the fifth one, monitor, and you have to have a dashboard annually. You have to sustain and participate in the time snacking. So next 3 months, next short term and mid-term, how we have to operate. This Excel sheet already I have shared. One of the few participants also asked out, but I didn't have time to clarify. But maybe if they have questions, I will put it to the answer. Now we have to see how the SDG need to be mapped. That is a very important criteria, sir. Poverty. That is poverty. SDG one. How I can show my activity in the poverty in strategic planning. So we have a corpus amount trust. Every year the corpus will increase to 2 people or 3 people. We will provide them a scholarship. Why we are providing scholarship? How it is connected to no poverty. The no poverty, how it is getting connected is through education, you can empower the family, enlighten the family, and bring them to a library. That is a very important aspect. So all the scholarship activities, donation drives, which comes under the goal number one. Goal number one. The second is goal number two. Food distribution, nutrition awareness camp, nutrition awareness camp. So when you're creating a food distribution, because nowadays school kids are doing a food distribution in the school. Yeah, as a training, we have to focus on food distribution, how it has to operate, or now what are the ways it has to do. Everything we are taking together, that is advantage of food. That is advantage of second part. So you have to remember the food distribution and nutrition awareness. Third is good health and well-being, blood donation, yoga fitness drive, health camps, because good health and well-being. This week, our build is making a Guinness record effort by joining everyone into the yoga and everything. The same manner we have to look at it, how it has to be operated, what are the ways and means it gets operated. That is one. Is it clear, sir? Everyone is listening? Because I should not keep on. This is the one advantage or one disadvantage, I don't know. Sometimes in the online education, we don't know whether the people are listening or not listening. I hope everyone is listening. Yes, sir. Okay. Luckily, they told yes. At least we get an idea now because we get confused because recently there were ghost faculty issue were there. In the ghost faculty issue, several colleges were get into trouble. So faculty issue in ghost faculty is similarly in lecture also ghost lecturing effect, because we are lecturing, we don't know anyone listens or what they do. If nothing, we are not in a position to comprehend. Sometimes we wonder what we deliver lecture, is it going or is it not going? Also, we don't know. Sometimes we anyone is listening. That is online teaching becomes a big difficulty task. That is the reason Atal also made 6 to 9 only online, not to the daytime. Daytime, they are simply switching on. They are not attending. They're having the classwork like that. They told. So that is the reason they changed. So that is a good effect. Good effect and very important aspect which you should remember, sir. So coming back to the main slide. So third aspect is blood donation, yoga, fitness drive, what all we are doing now, which could be connected to the good health and well-being. And fourth is tutoring and underprivileged children or literacy drive. So how it has to be get connected. So how it has to be get connected. Quality education. Because when we were in University of Illinois, so I was assigning in a voluntary activity. There was a circular in students activity center. Anyone interested to teach, tutor the STEM education to the people, you can volunteer it. Every Thursday, I used to teach STEM education evening times, 7 to 9, to Afro American kids. So kids will come to student centers. So we go, we teach them a science, we teach them a mathematics. It was really, really different experience. You remember? So when I was volunteering, the people are wondering why you are going everything, but gave me different mindset and different perspective to them. I was wondering why they are organizing such things. Okay, it's a good drive. As a country which gave us something, so will let us give something back to the country in terms of. But now we observe this becomes it mapped into SCG number 4. It literacy drive, which is facilitated through college centers. You remember, we didn't do voluntarily. We did college facilitated. So the free tutoring was done for the underprivileged kids by the students, not by the faculty members. You remember, faculty members never tutored. I make it very clear. Only the students we were tutoring it because we used to be in the lab, and moreover, I was staying very near to the university campus. It is open university campus like Virginia Tech. University. Some campuses are open type, so they will have a very big campus. In between, public also will in between it will be there. It's a different sort of thing which you can which was there. So what we observed is underprivileged kids that we were doing it for students. What happened? So it was there. The fifth one is gender equality, women empowerment seminars, women empowerment awareness campaign. How it has been done. The water preservation activity. As I told you, this you have to start beginning in this direction. So water conservation. At present, what is your consumption of water? What will be the consumption of water next to 10 years in strategic planning? This is a goal which I am going to commit it. You might think, no, sir, water percentage will be increasing because number of people will increase. So how come it will, no, we are telling per capita usage. Per capita. If 100 people are there, this is the usage. If 200 people are there in the future, it should not be same what the 100 people, the same per capita usage should not be there. It should be lesser than that. What is the commitment you are giving? So in terms of usage of water, in terms of fixtures, how we are going to minimize it, and how we are going to create awareness. Awareness. So wherever the tap is open, you have to locate. Whenever the malfunctioning, it is not functioning proper, how we have to operate it. All those aspects which you can give in a clean water and sanitation. Clean energy, affordable and clean energy. So in terms of energy audit report you have to prepare. In addition to the energy audit report, what are the solar energy models which you are using? Whether your entire campus is a solar energy campus, it is there. If so, if so, how we have to operate it and what are the ways and means which you can operate it. That is the one item. Then entrepreneurship cells. and skill development programs, decent work. So you have to remember, a decent work is to the students. Once they get graduation, because of the job, they should not get undersell themselves. So they should not get underpaid. So how we have to fix the salary? How we have to empower them? So the main question is entrepreneurship cells and skill development programs. How we have to make the entrepreneurship cells and skill development programs. SDG 9 is innovation, hackathon, tech projects, and research publication. That comes a goal number 9. Goal number 10, reduce inequality, inclusion program and rural outreach. Inclusion program and rural outreach. How it has to be connected, how the outreach has to be made. So that is a reduce inequality because some people will have access, some people will not have access. So that is reduce inequality where we have to promote on the accessibility, which will get connected to them and to make the things in order. SCG number goal number 12, as I told you, responsible consumption and production. So very, very important. 11, I forgot. Sustainable cities, smart campus initiatives, urban planning projects, everything. In the responsible consumption, how much quantum of waste management is there? How the upcycling workshops which you are creating it. So you should know the subtle difference between consumption and production there and here in the clean water and sanitation. SCG goal number 13, climate action is tree plantation, environmental awareness. Goal number 14 is life below water, awareness campaign, coastal cleanup if applicable. Goal number 15 is life on land, biodiversity projects, nature work. Goal number 16, peace and justice, anti-ragging, human right awareness, everything. Goal number 17, it MOU with NGOs, industries, and government bodies. Even goal number 16, peace and justice, we are talking anti-ragging, woman, that sexual, that ICC committee, all those things comes under this thing, human right. So like this, these 17 goals, where exactly you stand now, where you are going to go there. That is very, very important. That is what we mean a baseline study. Before starting a baseline, in water consumption, this is there. In the donation drive, this is the level I am there. In this one, how it I'm going to be there. So these are all will give the weightage, give a different perspective for us to plan according. You remember that is very, very important, which you have to discuss in detail the manner to so that it will solve the problem. So first one and foremost is baseline. To baseline, you should know what all the activities which are getting mapped with this SCG 17. So this is your college campus. When I came, I have taken a photograph, I have scanned it. You remember? So they have did a wonderful work, which they connected each tree with the QR code, which gives certain details, I think. But this could be done in various manner. You can visit various colleges. Each colleges are having their unique signature direction, which is not from the animation point of view or colorful point of view. It is from the value point of view. How much carbon sequestration it has been given, when this plant has been planted, how much till today, how much it has been the growth rate, now how much carbon it is reducing it, what is the contribution. Very systematically, the QR code and the website you can upload it so that the future you are going to use it, it's going to be very, very useful task. That is what the SDGs. So bigger picture, as I told you, the 17 goals as group, and accordingly we have to operate it. So this is what the item and which we have to discuss in detail. This is the part one of strategic planning. Strategic planning, how it operates and what are the ways which we are doing it. Then each goal we have to be having clarity, sir, because sometimes you may, for example, goal number 1, we talk about employability. How much? Because goal number criteria number 4 in NBA, graduate attributes, placement, all the students should get graduated. Not only graduated, they should get employed. How the education institution facilitate that employability in terms of entrepreneurship, in terms of placement, in terms of higher studies, what are the other skills which they are offered, how they are been awareness about the national wage pay, how the funding option is there for low income group, collaborate on initiatives and within community to tackle the poverty locally. So goal number two, it focus on food waste, food. So one is you can provide a proper food disposal facility, which you can outsource the catered food, or you can collaborate on the initiatives, and where the students will be given idea. For example, I visited one of the IAM last year. I was doing some program there. So when what we observed, and one more college nearby, where they have their own garden. In their garden, they grow their vegetables, which has been managed, monitored by the student community, which in turn has been used for their own cooking. So this gives a good responsibility for the students. How the nutritious products comes into it. They are not offering agriculture. I make it very clear. They're not offering at all agriculture. But still, they need the value of the system. The college takes the initiative for it and they are doing it. So that is so how the food grows on the campus. That is very, very important. Then comes the vegan or vegetarian menus, everything. Because I came here, it is completely vegetarian menu there. So that is advantage. That is advantage which they have in the guest house. So promote a good health, lifestyle, mindful activity, health, happiness, how they are making their policy document. Now it is government as mandatory. Every year health checkup is mandatory. Mental health checkup is mandatory. How much you have stressed, how the ranking of the leader, academic leader, their KPI you have to keep it because what happened, not in a private, but the private also it is important. The government sector, sometimes the boss who comes, they think the owner of the institution, they spoil the entire system. Yesterday, we were discussing with our director of here. He was mentioning very clear, very nicely with case studies we were discussing. For example, CFTA to CFT, IIT to NITs, IIT to NITs, NIT to. So they have a different culture, they have a different growth, they have a different perspective. But a state university person, if they comes, they never transform the institution. They create into a political background, political politics. They create dirty politics. That is a witnessed thing, which with the various case studies we are listing, how certain CFTAs have completely collapsed or were drifted from their vision. For example, there are institutions which are for a unique purpose has been established. But since the unique purpose, the person who came doesn't know, they started offering all the programs which system got collapsed in some other case studies. We were discussing yesterday with him. So that way, the wellness of the system is very, very important and which should get ensured and which should get ensured for the mapping it. And quality education. Quality education, as I told you, what sort of outreach activity you are there, how you are going to reference, how the distance learning, digitization of the curriculum to include inclusivity, high quality learning, everything, how we are operating in all those directions, which is very, very important. How it is getting embedded is also very, very important for the curriculum aspects. Sir. So then comes the gender equality, paying equally, flexible work hours, International Women's Day, organize activity to raise awareness of gender inequality and strict HR policies and report gender gap, reduce gender gap. So free water filling refill points across the campus, encourage research into innovation to improve water sanitation internationally, look to conserve water where possible by reviewing your wastewater, organizing funding campaigns, raise awareness, which you can, and we build the toilets in different area. In some education institutions, I observed they made effective support in making the toilet construction. I was really amazed because the people they constructed the toilet based on some grant they constructed, and they made a very wonderful initiative. Wonderful initiative. They started making it. So, which resulted in the college, uh, which resulted in the college to operate, which resulted in the college to operate it, which resulted in the college to take it in a different manner. They made a low cost toilet construction, filling everything they made. So affordable energy, undertake initiatives for low energy usage where kettles in hostels, in the classrooms, everything, institution, fossil fuels, alternate energy, encourage research into alternate energy source, energy of competition, and academic staff to give free lectures on community on clean energy. So this you can connect it to the ninth criteria and outreach activity also, where you are going to staff is going to give a lecture on to the community on the clean energy, how the clean energy aspect has to be taken into consideration. What are the ways which you have to operate it? That is the important aspect which you have to work for it, sir. So, in eighth goal, it is on decent work and economic growth. As a student, we need to be aware of the concept of circular economy. How we are committed to become a 2017 by this area. So, what are the aspects which you have to discuss in this thing on related to circular economy and sustainability? Second aspect, the decent job, how to be an entrepreneurship, how creativity and innovation plays an important role in terms of funding, in terms of prize money. So, how you have to start the micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises? How we have to capture, ensure that creating a safe working environment, key policy, and formal commitment to the trade. That is important. Innovation of infrastructure, all major developments and investment. Highest sustainability standard. How we have to focus on energy efficient building and infrastructure. How to improve upon the sustainability performance of facade, encourage sustainability with the business incubators hub. How we have to work on business students on sustainability initiatives, particularly living lab projects. Reduce in equal opportunity where a social impact will be created, in inclusivity will be created, and we also have to see the scholarship, bursary, and running voluntary organization for students and community to promote awareness of social justice. The goal number 11, how much community get connected with the students. How expertise could be used from the different directions, communities. So how much impact you are creating on a social and environmental impact because of an institution, because of your institution, how much impact it has been created. One important aspect is because of some colleges, the nearby areas are becoming hostel, the residential group, because they're making a business of selling a residential. So that becomes a problem. Nothing more than that. Sorry. So that is the aspect which you have to remember. So local authorities, social impact, safe environment on the campus, safe environment on campus, and a regular update health, because if open-time campus like Virginia Tech or University of Illinois, there will be a red car facility. The night time when the students are working in the laboratory, if you call red car, the car will come and pick you up and will drop you into your places in the night time in a safety manner. So very systematically it has been conducted. It is very successful scheme. So which in turn provided the safety to the people. Safety to the people. That was a wonderful advantage. So how the residents year-on collection from student residents about reuse and recycling. Some colleges they have kept it, all the calendars, everything which you connected. So responsible consumption and production, your procurement policy checking the supply chain, create sustainable procurement guidance, aim to reduce waste, report publicly on your waste, create initiatives that encourage reduce, reuse, recycle policy, move towards digital coursework or dissertation. So climate action, embed action into the highlight, the urgency of the climate action into the curriculum, train staff, student to be a carbon literate, and create educational vibes or broadcast based on the climate change. That is also possible. And net zero carbon emission, and work with the community on emission reduction measures and institution agents to save on the global climate letter. So 14th is life below water, awareness of marine litter, climate change, toxic chemicals, use of sustainable items which are being focused. And finally, we have to remember poverty, littering the public initiatives, thereby no plastic zone, plastic free campus, environmentally go green campus. There's some policy document what you have on life on land and biodiversity below the plastic pack. And life on land is biodiversity standard and strategy, how much carbon sequestration is taking place, run extracurricular activities that promote awareness, look into the plant that most trees on site from a carbon capture, commit to use only the sustainable activities into the product. Peace and justice. So how transparent you are there, how accountable you are there, anti-bribery and corruption policy. So what are the internalization of your institutional international strategy? So zero tolerance and sustainable development. And goal number 17. So how you are collaborating to share the practices and work to improve the global partnership, create SDG initiatives, work with the local community on a regional sustainability plan. So Times Higher Education Ranking, the sustainability develop these 15 points which you have to take into account. First one is conceptual alignment and rational, which in turn create awareness raising. Awareness raising should lead to the leadership commitment. Once the leadership commitment, stakeholders are getting engaged. Strategic design and draft, knowledge provision, current initiatives mapping, future initiatives prioritizing, resource provision, implementation, long-term sustainability. With this, we are closing the first part of the lecture, which is nothing but the mapping of the strategic planning, including the strategic planning. Is it clear, sir? Is it clear? First part is strategic planning. Second part is curriculum. Is it clear till now? Okay, then yeah, okay. So now, before starting the things, as a faculty member, you should be in the position to map to the your activities to the strategic document. Where exactly you stand, where you will be in the near future. That is a first and foremost thing, sir. Is it clear? Now, as a education institution, whether you have what percentage you have committed in your strategic document on the sustainability, sir. What percentage you have committed on the sustainability aspect as a faculty member? What percentage you have committed into your strategic plan, sir? How much you have planned? How much you have committed? How much you have planned? How much you have planned? Maybe you can put it in the chat box. Okay, if not the chat box, we will work on it. Okay, I will just answer it. Okay. How much you are committed, sir? How much you are committed in your this thing? How much you have committed? That is chat. I'm just looking it. I don't know. Okay. No commitment made, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. 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 No one is telling any answer. Okay. Then I will just move to the next part. Curriculum part. Curriculum part. Okay. Okay. I will share the screen because and if you has given no commitment made, no, nothing wrong in it because yes, sir, is sir, not able to, not measurable, but our contribution exists always. No, no, yes. Uh, Maybe only 50%. Correct. Correct, 100% correct. What you told is right because you always you commit, you do the work, but it will not be directly measurable. We have water conservation activity, we have everything we have, but it has not been grouped or labeled in that manner. What we call it as a SDG or what we call it as a strategic plan. Yes, I accept it because as I observed our country, we execute the work, but which we may not be labeled in that direction or in that manner. That is a 100% correct, sir. 100% correct. Let me share the screen. Okay, let me share and go to the second part. Curriculum revision. Okay. In curriculum mapping process, you should remember uh, NBA is clearly told, not only from the perspective of NBA, at the institution level, I try to see holistically how all the goals are getting connected. As an institution, you cannot have one particular goal. As an institution, you should have a maximum number of all the goals you have to address it. Whereas at the program level, cascading effect into the program and department, I cannot connect all the goals and this thing. That you have to accept itself because yesterday at IIT Madras, IGS, that group, when I was delivering a lecture, I told all the goals may not be declared directly. For example, I was making a circular economy and geotechnics where we connected with one goal. I will just show you one picture before going into the next that circular economy. So the six goals SDGs will be directly connecting to geotechnic action. There will be indirect impact on other six goals. Totally only 12 goals are there. Five goals they are not getting into picture at all. No problem. Only the goals which are directly getting mapped in the program level, three to four or five, four, five. That's all. You cannot map more than that in the program level. It is not at all possible. You cannot connect everything into it. That we have to see. For example, this is one from one college, which recently, which you have seen. So, water supply treatment for small communities. SCG goal number 6. Fantastic. It get mapped, correct. SCG goal number 11, because sustainable cities and communities. So, design water supply treatment plant for small communities. So, design aspect of SCG 6, and small sustainable cities and communities, it is getting mapped. So, which this mapping strength is strong, weak, medium, weak, and right. So, how to write 3, 2, 1? This problem comes whenever we go for how to map threes or how to put two. We have some thumb rule. That thumb rule last time itself I might have told to your team. Maybe I told you, I think. Okay, if not, I might have covered, I don't know. Evaluate ethical and sustainable supply chain practice. Apply data structure to optimize algorithm efficiency. This one algorithm efficiency only someone was asking how you connect to algorithm efficiency, what way it is connected. They were asking, and then I told it is how the programming nowadays, commuting things. They are telling all those aspects. No, that is the way which you have to operate it. I told them, and it has been mapped appropriately. It has been mapped appropriately. So you have to remember. You have to remember what aspects which you have to make it capstone projects and other things. But green computing, how the data centers has to be energy efficient. Your data centers have been completely mapped by the solar power. So this is institution level. In the program level, you cannot operate all those things. But in the program level, your program will focus on energy efficiency, which will be told. So what is a strong, medium, and weak mapping we call? STG is explicitly in one learning outcome. It is completed a dedicated content and directly assessed. That is what SDG is 3. SDG appears meaningfully in the content or pedagogy, but is not separately assessed. It is embedded, but it is not directly assessed. Other assessment is covered, which we presume this is taking place. SDG 1, where it reference is there, but not genuine learning focus. One example, one slide, because in case studies and real life example, we might have told STG, which might comes under the moderate condition. Moderate condition. Suppose you are telling a case study, in the case study only few slide comes, which is not directly focusing on it weak and not applicable. This is the way the mapping goes in the curriculum, sir. For engineering and technology, which I have shown last time, predominant goals which goes is SDG 6, 7, 9, 11, 12 and 13. 12 also it goes, 12 and 13. Management compass, 8 it goes, 9 it goes, 10 it goes, 12 it goes, and 17. And medicine, hunger, nutrition, good health, sanitation, gender equality in health access, humanities, poverty, education, gender equality, and gender 10, SCG 10 and SCG 16, and education 4 and 5 and 10. So like that, each discipline, as I told you in the beginning of the lecture, institution level and curriculum level. Institution level, all 17 one way or other way you can map it. In a curriculum or discipline, you can map it 4 or 5, not more than that. Is it clear, sir? Is it clear? Okay. So now, at what way you have to include it? That you have to see at a content level. So basically, the criteria number 2 of NBA, case studies and real life examples have been given. These topics should integrate SDG relevant SDGs, case studies, data set, real life examples. So upgrade reading list with sustainability theme, SDG relevant material. And in syllabus, you make it sustainable relevance. How many it is relevance? That is at the content level. At the pedagogy level, project-based learning. I told you the students' projects which you are doing, let them address SDG related challenges. Let them incorporate service learning or community engagement components. Let them use as case study simulation that require student weigh sustainability trade-off. That is there. Invite guest lecturers from practitioners working on SDG related challenges. Working on SDG related challenges. SDG related challenges. How we can work on it. At assessment level, we have to focus what way we have to work on the assessment level. At what way we have to work on assessment level, which you have to remember. At what way we have to work on design assessments that require students to assess SDG related problem in the field, include rubrics explicitly addressing sustainability, ethical reasoning where relevant, capstone project, major projects, opportunity for a deeper, accessible SDG engagement. So these are the ways which we are going to work on it. And a 5 step is first audit. Take your course. As I told you, mapping could be done in two ways. Subject matter expert only can do it. But they should be aware about the 17 goals. The goals has to be mapped with the targets and indicators. It cannot be mapped randomly or arbitrarily. We have to remember it has to get mapped with target and indicators. Very, very important. So, how we are going to do it? That is what very, very important. Conduct a curriculum mapping exercise. Whenever you are mapping a curriculum, I told you the category of 3, 2, 1 in the course outcome. Course outcomes are in turn related to the content of the courses. So, which goal contribute to which subjects? So, last time we have shared that mapping in Adi Shankara Google Classroom, which I have shared last time, which if you observe, last time I have shared to the participants, which we did to the uh, Adi Shankara group. I have shared, I think. Yes. Last time this PPT also made, we have shared, which we have given Adi Shankara. Adi Shankara, if you observe, I would have made that presentation, that one word file I would have shared to them. This one, subject mapping. So the first step in the mapping, take the particular subject in engineering, which are the goals are connected. So as I told you, 1 to 7 are known as a foundation goal. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, one category. 13, 14, 15, one category. 16, 17, one category. That way also you can do. And second thing you have to remember, which you have to operate it, which you have to remember. What way we have to remember is this is the one which you can group it in this area also. People, planet, economy, society, and partnership. So these way they will map it generally. This is a way which we have, which I have given in the people. These are the goals which are connected to people, which are connected to poverty, planet, ideology, water treatment, sanitation, keywords, example, course topics, economy, labor economies, entrepreneurship, planet, and society, and partnership. So people, planet, economy, this is also planet, and society and partnership. So the four categories they would have mapped. We mapped the foundation. So accordingly, this is only for the target, how it is going to do, how much it is going to operate, and how it has been completed. This is the first category which we have showed in the Excel sheet last time. So that is the first. Oh, sorry. Okay. Second step, you connect it. So brainstorm. You have to do with the faculty member, technical connect. These subjects directly connect to SDG 7. How the subject indirectly impact on the society. Data link can be used for public health and urban learning. Ethical link. What are the ethical, social, environment implications of the technologies we teach? Ethics is very important. E-waste is very important. And finally, focus on 2 to SDG per course to avoid dilution. Depth is more valuable than breadth. Don't cover too many goals, the subjects that is not at all needed. One or two in the course is more than sufficient per subject if you are fit. So each course in the curriculum nowadays they are providing. Develop and adapt. Modify your syllabus, content, and assessment reflect the SDG connection. How we have to do? Add a section connection to the SDG goals. How we have to connect? So in terms of relevant case studies, case studies are the basic important which you can get mark in criteria number 2 also. Case studies and real life example. Real world data which is the rated. Invited guest speaker who is working on the area of sustainability challenges. In assessment, design projects where student must solve a problem aligned with that particular SDG. For example, electronic students also in one of the lab, as I told you when we went to Ahmedabad, the rainwater harvesting completely, the water was going. The construction is over. Whether the water has gone, how much, what quantity it has gone, the sensors, everything has developed by other department. It's interdisciplinary projects. So this is aligned with an SDG, goal number 6. Include reflective questions in assignment. Discuss the you are created some design. When you created a design, how it is going to affect the social life. That is very, very important. That is what is sustainability focus. Use pedagogical approach. Flip to classroom, show the video. Debate should be why the solution is viable for the achieving SCG city in why. What is the most effective method? How the students work on real world and client based projects. So all those aspects you work on it. That is very, very important. That is very, very important, very, very a need of the hour. Need of the hour. That is a need of the hour. So that is a important aspects. So evaluate both student learning and effectiveness of the integration. Assessing students' rubrics, not just technical competency alone, and make it clear. SDG assessment is not only related to technical competency, but the social sustainability awareness, ethical consideration, and systematic thinking. In systematic thinking, some places they call design thinking. In design thinking, you have to remember empathize, then design, ideate, prototype, and test. The empathize is a very, very important. So assessing the course, gather student feedback, especially on sustainable development components, how it operates, how it is done. You just operate it and you take it. Reflect on what worked and what did not. Did the project resonance with the students? Share success and challenges with colleagues to foster a community of practice. To foster a community of practice. That is a very, very important. So share success and challenges with the colleagues to foster a community of practices. So across the discipline, for example, computer discipline, this time only last time when madam was asking how it operates. Develop a mobile app for remote patient monitoring. Create course model on algorithmic bias and fairness. Civil, low cost sustainable housing using local material. Project on designing a small scale water purification system. And develop a circular economy business plan. Analyze corporate policies for gender equity and this thing. So there is Excel sheets which has been attached and given to your faculty members last time. You can just work on those sheet. Accordingly, you can make a detail. Accordingly, you can this thing. Accordingly, you can you can operate it. That is what need of the hour. So that is a need of the hour which you have to operate it, which you have to take into consideration. So that gives a more clarity and this thing. So which you have to prepare. So you prepare a report based on that. What is the cover page? What is the mapping index? What all the activities the students have done? Photo evidence, student work projects, certificates and reports, outcome summary. So this the student, and don't cover only the photos. Add the activities. How it is connected to activities. No, but not mentioning the student claim, it will not be good. You would mention date, particular participant count on the outcome. So with this report, you have to complete the document. That is the only go for the SCG mapping. So getting information from the internet is like taking water from a fire hydrant. You can do it, but how you are going to connect, that matters a lot. So in STG mapping, two aspects you have to remember. One is institute level, second is a curriculum level. In curriculum level, also 5 steps are there. First, gather the information, connect it appropriately where the value system has to be there, technology intervention, if it is there, you connect it, and finally, you just check it how for repeatability it is going to get established. If the institution is assessed by STG, if it is assessed by the STG, it shows the academic commitments what we have in solving the problem or in tackling the problem. That is what. So using sustainability is not a technical construct alone, it is purely a cultural construct. Technical sustainability is not a social, scientific, or technical construct. Sustainability is a cultural construct which you should remember. With this, I just wind up the session for further question and answer. So you can critically ask any questions and doubts which you have. Hopefully, I will be in the position to answer it. I hope the session is up to 3:30. I think maybe if you have any questions or any doubt, you can ask me. No problem.
Dear participants, the platform is now open for questions and discussions. Participants are welcome to ask their questions now. You can even put your queries in the chat box.
So I think so back to back two sessions today, morning and afternoon. I think the participants are little occupied, and but so your commitment and the generosity and the promise that you have made to us is something we are very grateful to you, sir.
No problem.
No words to express. We know how the schedules are overlapping, but still you kept your promise for us. I do not have words to express my
Thank you.
gratitude. And we must realize, the participants, I'm saying, we must realize that we are learning from the, the national expertise in NBE. So not a simple resource that easily available to every one of us. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Ma. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your excellent presentation. The practical case studies and the linkage between CPs and SDGs have greatly enhanced our understanding of outcome-oriented engineering education. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Ma.
Dear participants, the new feedback link has been shared in the chat box. Kindly complete the feedback form. This is the second feedback link for the afternoon session. It's been shared in the chat box. Kindly complete the feedback form. We'll be back tomorrow with a new topic. Thank you everyone for your active participation. Have a great day.